Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm Rabbi Marc Margolius of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, and it's really my honor to be with you for this mindful preparation for Shabbat. It's a real blessing to do so. When we prepare for Shabbat, whether it's by setting up our candles or preparing our table, it's an opportunity for us to intentionally enter into the different state of consciousness that Shabbat represents. And even if we can do that for a few moments, we can say Dayenu, it is enough. Just to have a few moments to taste, to experience what it means to be in Shabbat mode. Some of us have electronic devices which we even set to Shabbat mode, which alters how they operate. And we can do pretty much the same thing. Shabbat is really an opportunity for us to let go of the instinct to do, to act, to accomplish, to produce, which has driven us for much of the week. And instead, the mode that we're shifting into, as it were, is letting things just be as they are. It's a mode of being free of the impulse and the drive to do, to change, to improve, to accomplish, to produce, and instead just being free to be with, to be grateful for what we have, exactly for what we have right now, to be with and be grateful for who we are exactly as we are right now, and for being with and being grateful for how the world is exactly as it is right now, because we can't change it in this very moment. We're just going to let it be. And this week, of course, is a special Shabbat. It's Shabbat Shirah, known as the Shabbat of Song, because it is the Shabbat in which we read Parshat Bishalach, when Pharaoh finally, after the 10th plague, lets the Israelites go free, and they get to the Red Sea. And of course, after they cross the sea, they sing the epic song of the sea, Shirat Hayam. But in the dramatic denouement of that story, the Israelites who've been freed, of course, reach the shores of Yam Suf, of the Reed Sea, and Pharaoh has had a change of heart and has chased after them with his army, and Bnei Yisrael are caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place at the shore of the sea, with the army pursuing them, and they cry out. They cry out to Moses. They cry out in fear. And Moses responds to them with these words, which are apt for settling into Shabbat mode. Vayomer Moshe el ha'am al tira'u, ki yatzvu uru'u et Yeshuat Adonai, asher ya'aseh lechem hayom. Moses said to the people, don't fear, stand by, stand still, be present, uru'u, and see, witness, Yeshuat Adonai, the deliverance of Yud-He Vav-He, which God will work for you today. So those words, that short phrase, Hityatzvu, be present, be still, stand strong, stand firm, stand in place, U'u, and see the liberation, see the redemption that can happen simply from staying in our place. In Psalm 46, verse 11, the psalmist says, Harpu ud'u ki anochi Elohim, arum bagoyim, arum ba'aretz, which means just let it be. Just be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations and exalted in the earth. So I want to invite us to sit into Shabbat together for the next 20 or so minutes, and I'll guide you. And our goal is simply this. Our goal is to have no goal. Our goal is to be with things exactly as they are right now, and to notice how our mind can move towards the past and review the week, review what has already happened in our lives. And our minds also can scan the future, try to discern what is going to be and what we may need to do to prepare for that. And that's the natural function of the mind. It helps to keep us safe. So we can't stop it from doing that. The mind will wander, as it does. It will wander to the past, it will wander to the future. All we need to do is notice that that's happening. And when it does, to bring it into, follow an intention that we set to bring our mind back to what is happening right now, in this moment, right here, right now. And the secret of the liberation, of the freedom that we speak of that happens on Shabbat, the secret of the redemptive quality of Shabbat is our capacity to come back again and again to the present, to the here, to the now, to this body, to this breath, to this moment, to this place. So wherever you are right now, I invite you to find a seat. If you're already sitting, you might want to adjust your position. And if you can, set your feet on the floor. Follow Moshe's instructions. Hityatzvu. Plant yourself. Be still. Of course, we're coming right off of Tu B'Shvat, the New Year of the Trees, and we want to plant ourselves like trees in our spot, in our makom, our place. And if you can, spread, if you have toes on your left foot, if you have toes, if you have a right foot, if you have toes, make sure, see what you're equipped with, you can spread them and press down into the ground, rooting yourself into this place, into this moment. And find a comfortable position where your posture is upright and really affords you a sense of dignity, of kavod. And if it helps to put your hand on your chest, support yourself. A little bend in your back, and notice what's happening in your back. And press the crown of your head up towards the sky, just as if it's being tugged upwards, so that essentially our body becomes a ladder, a sulam, between heaven and earth. And we remember that we are both physical, material beings, and we are also spiritual beings. On Shabbat, tradition says we're endowed with an additional soul, and the Neshama Yetera, which joins us now at this moment. I think the way I'd like to think about that is it's not that the soul, there's an additional soul that comes at the beginning of Shabbat and leaves at the end of Shabbat, but that we, by shifting into the Shabbat mode, we become aware more deeply of our own neshama, of our own soul, of our own spiritual essence. It's always there. It's just that on Shabbat we become aware of that presence, aware of that animating force that we describe as our soul. So once you find that position, you can rest your hands wherever is comfortable. You can fold them in your lap. You can rest your hands on the top of your thighs, face down or face up. For some people, it's more conducive to the experience to turn them upwards in a receptive mode. You might experiment with that. See if you feel more vulnerable or more safe in one position or another. And I want to invite us to take a few minutes to gently scan our bodies as one way of being present in this moment, to really, really give us the opportunity to remember that we are embodied beings. And whatever the state of your body has no bearing on that. If we notice any judgments about our bodies, we're just going to note those and set them aside. Just going to notice, oh, I have a body. Oh, And whatever the elements of that body may be, we're just going to take note of them. So I invite you to start with the soles of your feet. Notice how they feel resting on the floor. If you're barefoot or if you're wearing shoes or whatever's on your feet, feel the texture, the temperature, the pressure. And just very, very gradually, we want to bring our attention up through our body. Just bring attention and noticing, do you have a left foot? If so, in your mind, can you experience the presence of your foot? And the same with the right. And hold in your awareness these aspects of your body, all connected, and gradually bring awareness, and if you like, imagining each part of your body being filled with that neshama, the light of your soul, filling your body so that you become a being of light, or you notice that you are a being of light. And bring the attention up through the body, from the feet to the left ankle and the right ankle, to our calves and shins, and keeping in mind, keeping in awareness, everything we have scanned so far all the way up. So we are aware from the tips of our toes, through our feet and our heels, our ankles, our calves, our shins, our lower legs, remembering that we have knees, whatever the condition of those knees and how many miles they've walked or bent. Thanks for being there. And up through the upper legs, feeling the pressure of our thighs, resting on the chair, or the cushion, or whatever you're sitting on. Noting the warmth, tops of the thighs, bringing awareness up through the pelvis, so that now our awareness is of our whole lower body, from our pelvis down to our toes, supported by the seat, the cushion, the sofa. Remembering the belly, noticing what we may not have seen before, that the belly is expanding and contracting with each breath. Checking in with your lower back. How's that doing today? If it's feeling stressed and tired from all its work this week, breathe into that too, and continue to notice light filling the body from our feet all the way up through the belly and lower back and up into our chest and the rib cage. Doing a spiritual MRI of our bodies here. The upper back, shoulder blades, drawing light all the way up into our shoulders, which might also be tired from the holding tension and anxiety. Maybe a nice deep breath into the shoulders and the back. couple of deep breaths. Down the left arm, elbow, forearm. Same with the right, if you have these limbs. Breath and light filling the arms, upper arms, lower arms, and the hands and fingers. You might mentally take note of how many fingers you have right now, just as people count the fingers and toes of infants when they're born. Not to see if they're all there, just to see what is there now. Feeling warmth in the palms of the hand, radiating out, fingertips. Remembering all the nerves, the nerve endings that are there, the sensitivity, sense of touch. And breathing and noticing light filling all these spaces in the body. And remembering that our skin is porous. It has pores. It has microscopic openings through which the light that we are imagining and remembering within us that represents our neshama can flow out into the world and nourish others and be nourished by others. And maintaining awareness of all the parts of our body we have scanned already. We bring awareness into our neck. There too, noticing tiredness, constriction, tension, restoring it with a breath, resetting the body, replenishing the body, and then bringing awareness to our heads, floating on top of it all, noticing how our head is supported by the skeletal structure and our spine and our neck, whatever the conditions. And if we notice any discomfort, any pain, we breathe with that. Again, if you feel distressed in any way, you can comfort yourself by just placing one hand or even both hands over your heart space, offering yourself a Shabbat blessing, thanking your body for keeping you through this week. And now our bodies, as we notice, are filled with life from the tips of our toes all the way to the crown of our skull. Finally, invite you to just bring some awareness to your face. Any tension in your jaw, your cheeks, your forehead. You might want to even here, give yourself a little facial massage, or just hold put your fingertips at your temples. And gently massage your forehead or your jaw. And then rest your hands again on your chest or in your lap. And now for the last 7 minutes or so, I'd like to invite us to rest in the light of our neshama yetera, that additional soul that is there, that's been there all week, but because we are busy and engaged in the world, doing what we're meant to do, to be partners in the ongoing creation of this world, sometimes we have forgotten how deep and beautiful and bright our soul can be. But right now we can notice it, we can cherish it, We can sit in wonderment. And we can coax it to be even brighter simply by breathing, letting the flow of air, the oxygen, nourish the light within us so they can burn a little brighter. So for the last 5 minutes, let's just sit in stillness. We can plant ourselves where we are, right here, right now. We can be still, and we can know that Yud He Vav He, the great unfolding of all being, is God, and that we are made in that image. So let's sit and breathe and bask in the light of Shabbat. If your mind drifts away, that's just fine. Just come back again to the sensations of the body, the sensations of inhaling and exhaling. And for the last minute of our sit together, I invite you to turn the corners of your mouth up into a little smile and see how that shifts things for you. A little oneg Shabbat, a little rejoicing, joy, pleasure. And see if there's any resistance to that or whether you can accept the gift of Shabbat. Just even for a few moments. Say, oh, this is Shabbat. This is Shabbat. This is release. This is letting go. This is being aware. This is knowing what aliveness is. This is remembering my own soul. When you're ready, if your eyes have been closed, I invite you to open them. Or if your gaze has been soft, focused, I invite you to sharpen the focus and come back. And I just want to wish you Shabbat Shalom, a good and restorative Shabbat. And I invite you to come back to this practice over the course of Shabbat, regardless of how you're spending your time, and to know that you can always come back, pause for a moment, and remember the depth of your own soul. Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to be with you.